Okay, we are now live. We're now live streaming on YouTube. And Mrs. Norman, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Good evening, parents and friends, and welcome to our second parent forum for this school year. And on behalf of the I'm a Star Foundation, whose founder and CEO is Miss Betty Burney, we're just thrilled to have you join us tonight. And once again, we'd like to thank you so much for tuning in this evening as we provide you with some information that we hope will empower you to become even better parents. So now we're going to go ahead and begin this evening's session by providing you, our parents, with some general information that will enable you to successfully deal with the distinguishing characteristics of your teenagers. This information will be presented by Dr. Tiffany Wells, and Dr. Wells is the coordinator of health and physical education for our Duval County Public Schools. She's going to talk to you just a little bit about maintaining your cool as you learn a little bit more about the wonder years. Okay, Dr. Wells, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I will need, I believe, for someone to give me presenter's ability to be able to pull up the PowerPoint.
Yes, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, great. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Are you all able to see my print screen?
Yes.
Yes.
And I need to also make sure that you all can see or get the video as well. So please bear with me. I want to make sure that we have all of our items online properly. There should have been an option for me to
share sound.
Yes, share my sound.
Right, it's normally right at the
down
bottom.
At the bottom. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, I think I have share my sound as well. So thank you all for having me this evening. I am Dr. Tiffany Wells. I am the CDC-Grant Program Coordinator for Duval County Public Schools. Tonight, I am going to briefly go over with you all the wonder years and basically the gist of the wonder years is the in-between stages of being a tween and a teen. And so with that being said, I'll get a little bit into our presentation. Okay, so tonight's presentation, we're going to go over curiosity, mixed feelings and emotions, acceptance, changes and emotions, all of the things that our children are going through during this time. So typically what we find out is that during the wonder years, our teens are undergoing multiple physical and social and emotional and intellectual changes, which have been viewed as setting them apart from both younger and older youth. And as you can see from the screen, we kind of have the heart that is breaking, one person that is jumping up and down. You have the emojis that are not saying some very nice things. You have another one that is standing on top of their head. These are all the different things that we know that emotionally, intellectually, physically that our students are going through. So this is a great synopsis of we have to be very cognizant of understanding that our children are going through different phases and these phases are fluid. And so just like how sometimes we're not always having a great day, that our children are also individuals that don't have those pretext frontal lobes that are fully developed. And so oftentimes as they're going through these different things, they can't really articulate what is going on. So sometimes they express that through their behaviors, through their body language, and how they respond to us. So we're going to get into our first quick video.
Hey guys! Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Come on! Why isn't this working? I can't do anything right. I'm so useless. I hate this life!
During puberty, a person goes through many physical and emotional changes. Many of these changes are the result of new chemicals in your body called hormones. Hormones are special chemicals your body starts to produce more of during puberty, and they tell your body to grow and change in a lot of ways. Hormones can give you mood swings, sometimes without reason. You may feel very happy, and then suddenly you may feel angry or sad. Don't worry about it. Be gentle with yourself. It's normal to feel this way during puberty. If you're feeling very sad or very tired, overly anxious, overwhelmed, hopeless, guilty, or helpless for a long time, maybe a week or two, it may be signs that you're depressed. Being depressed is nothing to be embarrassed about. Depression can affect anyone at any time, no matter who you are, what you look like, what your gender is, or where you live. Even the rich, famous, or successful can go through depression. If you think you might be depressed, the best thing you can do is talk to someone who can help you. This might be a parent, a teacher, a guidance counselor, a coach, a doctor or nurse, or a member of your faith community. Just remember, you are not alone.
Till next time, don't forget to visit me at amaze.org or go to my YouTube channel to watch more. Bye!
So what we see here from the video is that we need to acknowledge that during the tweens to the teen years that our students are not only going through different psychological changes, but also different physical changes. And so with those physical changes comes the development of puberty and the different hormones. And so those things can create a chemical imbalance, so to speak. And so you're normally very happy child or very go-lucky child. As the body is processing these new chemicals within the body, this can change their temperament. So we need to always be very considerate of that and understanding that although we may think that we're not seeing a physical change with our student, that there is still some physical changes within the body, such as chemical makeup that is going on. So the psychology behind it all, as you can see from the screen, is that early adolescence is between the ages of 10 to 13. During this stage, children start to grow a little bit more quickly. I think oftentimes we say you're growing like a tree, or you're growing really fast. These body changes can inspire curiosity, anxiety, some especially if they do not know exactly what to expect or what is normal. So again, this is the time in which we ask that you give extreme patience as they're trying to figure things out. The middle adolescence is between the ages of 14 and 17, and this is when the physical changes from puberty continues into middle adolescence. So this is where they're probably going to be in their more adult body, but although exhibiting adult features, we need to keep in mind that they're still mentally, capacity-wise, still children who are still trying to understand who they are and the environment around them. Many middle adolescents have more arguments with their parents, and they struggle more for independence. So it's one of those things, oftentimes, as we may say in the South, that you kind of got to give them a little bit of rope to do what they need to do, but then also being able to will themselves back in. And so I think oftentimes we also may say, this is my house, my rules. And we have to keep in mind that, again, the brain is starting to develop. So they're trying to come into their adulthood. So it's not that they're trying to exert dominance, but they're just trying to figure out, like, okay, I know that I'm preparing myself, or I'm getting to the age in which the world is going to see me as an adult. And so they try to get ahead of the game. So let's not look at this as a exerting dominance or trying to overrun us or overrun our homes, but more so, I'm trying to prepare myself to be an adult. Okay, our next video, and we don't have that much longer, so just bear with me a little. And this is our teen angst.
Hi! You and I are gonna get to be good friends. Who am I? Well, most people call me Teen Angst, but you can come up with whatever pet name you want for me. Personally, I've always loved the name Bob. Where the heck did I come from? Let's just say it all has to do with a little thing called the pituitary gland. It's that pea-sized thing at the base of your brain that starts to flood your body with hormones when you begin puberty. I promise I'm not bad company. I just stir up a little trouble sometimes. It all has to do with your body making some adjustments and you growing up. These intense feelings of inner conflict are totally normal and are referred to as teen angst. Remember that time your mom made your favorite breakfast and for no reason at all, you freaked out and yelled at her? Yeah, that was me. Oh, or what about the time when your best friend Molly said she was going to the movies with Karen instead of you, and you spent the whole night crying like it was the end of the world? Sorry, me again. I couldn't help it. Oh, and that morning you missed the bus to school because you spent hours trying to figure out what you thought was a fashionable enough outfit? Ugh, that was the worst, right? You see, part of my job is to create all sorts of big reactions and overwhelming feelings that might seem a little hard to deal with. Ugh, what an annoying friend, right? But I have a job to do, and I won't be around forever. I'm just here to help you through this funny time of life when you're not a kid anymore. But you're not an adult either. But all those highs and lows you're having are really normal and a typical part of everyone's teenage years. Even celebrity rock stars and athletes had their own teen angst sidekicks like me. I promise, a few years from now, you'll look back on all our adventures together and laugh. But remember, if I start to get a little too out of control and my friend depression butts in, it's important to talk to a trusted adult. Depression can make you feel pretty sad and isolated. It comes around and visits lots of people, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. And depression is totally manageable with help and medical attention. So, are you ready to go convince your little brother that it's your turn to decide what we watch on TV tonight? And if I'm a little short-tempered, don't worry, it'll pass.
So teen angst goes right back into what we already discussed, that as the brain is developing and that pituitary gland in the back of the brain, which is a very small area that is the size of a pea, it controls so much. And I think this is also an opportunity for us to remind ourselves and remind our children that, hey, I was once your age, whether or not you believe it. And sometimes we need to take a trip down memory lane and, be reminded of the things that our children are doing. Maybe we did it, we just didn't get caught doing it. And so we always need to be reminded that the difference between us and our children or any situation is just that we did it. We just didn't get caught doing it. So now to just kind of bring everybody into the loophole, I want us to keep in mind that we're now in the 21st, we're currently in the 21st century, and there are a number of things that we need to keep in mind that our students, our children have all had to experience within a very short period of time. The first thing, the first several that I want to go over with you is, let's think about Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook occurred in 2012, so that makes that very unfortunate incident only about 10 years old. We know what happened at Sandy Hook. When we think about what happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018, that was only a mere 4 years ago. 2012, going back to the Aurora movie theater shooting in Colorado. Once again, an incident that only took place 10 years ago. The Country Music Festival in Nevada, 2017. The storming of the Capitol was only in 2021. And then one of the things that I want to mostly point out to our parents is Steve Jobs holding up the iPad. Now, I know oftentimes we think to ourselves, uh, we can't keep up with technology. It's moving too fast. Our students are light years ahead of us. But the truth of the matter is that the first iPad debuted itself in 2010. So we are really learning at the same pace as our students. So parents, guardians, let's not shortchange ourselves and think that we're too old, that okay, this thing, the iPads, the iPhones have been out for too long. The first iPad only debuted about 12 years ago. So parents, guardians, let's kick ourselves into gear and understand that we're rapidly learning quickly with our children and our students as well. Decision making. As you can see from the screen, I have fireworks, or at least the fireworks were supposed to be going off. There's a lot that is going on with decision making, and then oftentimes even for us as adults, we're having to make very quick decisions in a very short period of time. We need to keep in mind that our students and our children are having to go through the same thing without fully developed brains and fully developed frontal lobes. And so we have to keep in mind and give them grace that they're trying their best with very little information, or with as much information as possible in a very short period of time. And we're coming up to our last videos, and this is a puberty and body odor and the different changes. And so all of the different things that we think are no-brainers for us, this is a new day and age, and nothing has really changed with the body over the years. We are just more aware, and we have social media and those different things to help us kind of understand those things. So let's take a trip down memory lane for puberty and body odor and the different changes as it relates to our young boys.
Well, I need to see what my life is about as Martin Flounder figures it out. It used to be so wonderful when I'd come back in from play. Hey, hey, the gentle misty glowing pink, just another normal day. Hey, hey, now there's something in the air. There's no saying how it goes from my armpit to your nose. There's no turning back the clocks for my underwear and socks. My Sunday bath was soapy sweet, and that's all I had to do. By Monday now they're asking me, is someone making onion stew? Sorry that I had to share my BS, and I'm radiating fumes, and it's filling up this room. The club I never asked to join, and I'm getting quite annoyed. So we're born with sweat glands all over our bodies, designed to cool us off whenever we heat up. Puberty kicks in the hormones that make the body oils in our pits and cracks, add in the bacteria, and it's kind of a recipe for a stinkwich. Sweat, hormones, oils, and bacteria. When you reach a certain age, there's some habits you can change. B.O. The bacteria won't quit having parties in your pits. B.O.
So one of the things that we want to keep in mind is that as our children are developing and they're struggling with the mental and the social emotional changes, that we also need to be reminded of the physical changes. And to kind of help them to get through that, we can remind them as it pertains to their hygiene that, okay, just like you want to, go into that adulthood, understand that you're not my little baby that smells like baby powder and baby lotion and baby oil at all the time. So, as an adult, we have to bathe more and we have to do these different things. And so you kind of got to come in the middle ground to where you got to give some and take some. So, if we're going to tell them that they're young adults, we need to help them acknowledge it by saying, hey, you just can't go around like this. This is not how adults are. So what you do, keeping in mind that what you do matters. You can never be too loving. You can never be too kind to your child or your students. However, you should establish ground rules. You want to foster your child's independence, but you also need to be consistent. As always, we want to avoid harsh discipline. Explain the rules and the decisions that you have come to. We don't want to be a do as I say and not as I do type of people in society. Our students, our children need to understand why things are the way that they are. It's kind of one of those things of if you're in a car with a child and they say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? They're going to keep asking until they get to the answer that they need to hear. So keeping in mind of the are we there yet? Just to continue to give them more information. It can never be too much information. And the last part of my presentation, these are just some helpful resources that we have within our district through the grant that I oversee. We have our teen health centers in which our students can come talk to us in a private and confidential area. So if your child is 13 years and older and he or she or they are not comfortable, or you as a parent are not comfortable talking to them about certain things, we have the Teen Health Center available at any of our schools in which they can come. They can self-refer themselves, or you can refer your child, your student. We also have the QR code that is right here on the screen that you can just scan the code and it will take you directly to the district website. Other than that, that is my presentation, and I thank you all so much for allowing me to spend some time with you and just to share with you how you can assist your child or a child in the community through the Wonder Years. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Wells. We certainly appreciate that. And I'm sure that our parents profited from that information. Thanks again, Dr. Wells. Appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
Okay, parents, don't forget to sign in tonight now in your chat box. And if you're on YouTube, you can sign in the comments section. So once again, we want to thank her because these are wonder years. I'm sure you've used that word many times, wonder exactly what's going on with them. So hopefully you learned a little something that will help you to deal with them even more successfully. We're going to move right on tonight. And tonight I have the task of introducing our motivational speaker. It is certainly a great privilege for me to have this opportunity. Our speaker is not new to us simply because he is one of the super successful graduates of our Duval County Public Schools, specifically Raines High School. And we are just so excited to have him with us this evening. Our speaker is Mr. Mark Bennett. He is the Southeast Region Executive and for business banking for the Bank of America. And also now, parents, now he won't be able to settle anything personally for you tonight. Don't pull out any receipts or bank books or anything. He is the president of the Jacksonville Bank of America. Mr. Bennett, as I said, he is the executive for the Southeast region for the bank, and then he is the president of the Bank of America here in Jacksonville. And now, prior to joining the Bank of America, Mr. Bennett was an assistant to Florida State University's head football coach, Bobby Bowden, in Tallahassee, Florida. He'll tell you a little bit more about that. He's going to say, I'm not an athlete, but he'll tell you where his talents led him. Mr. Bennett is a certified treasury professional. He graduated summa cum laude from the Florida State University with a bachelor's degree in finance and management information systems. He also earned a graduate degree from the prestigious Pacific Coast Banking School at the University of Washington, where he continues to serve as a leadership instructor and a student advisor. Mr. Bennett resides right here in Jacksonville, Florida. We are very fortunate to have him here with us in this city because he is so committed to this community. He is in a score of organizations that serve the community. He currently leads the Black and African American Business Owners Initiative for the bank on a national basis. And then he is involved with communities in school. Many of you are familiar with that. He's on the board. He's on the, he works with the Pace Center for Girls. He's a member of the Black Executive Leadership Council. He's a member of the YMCA. And also he works with the Boys and Girls Club, the Jacksonville Urban League, and he's with that Gator Bowl committee. So as you can see, Mr. Bennett is a passionate, committed, and caring individual who truly loves his community and he loves the people in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome this young man who has followed his dreams and made a difference not only in his life, but in the life of so many others. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for this evening, Mr. Mark Bennett. All right, Mr. Bennett.
All right. Well, Ms. Norman and Ms. Bernie, thank you so much for that incredible warm welcome. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am to see the two of you and so thankful for this invitation to join. I'm a star tonight. And good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to spend this time with a smart and talented and resilient group of students and parents here. As Ms. Norman has shared maybe my background, I will tell you I'm never too busy when I receive a call from Ms. Norman because she was an early investor in me as well as a board member for me, because I remember her investing in my startup phase, which I'm still paying dividends on that investment. So Ms. Norman, thank you so much again for everything there. And I'm going to make sure going forward, I have you come in and introduce me, because that was such an amazing job of going through that as well. But tonight, I just want to share with you my personal journey, and which I hope to leave you with really three key takeaways, which is really a story of just kind of pivoting and shifting your point of view when needed, as well as finding your purpose. And so as Ms. Norman already shared, I'm a Jacksonville native that I grew up on the north side in Grant Park, where I will tell you there was 4 principles that were taught nightly in the Bennett household by my parents. The first one was number one, and it was our faith always comes first, and it would keep us humble. And I will tell you, the week started on Sunday, and ultimately, if you didn't prioritize faith that week, pretty much that entire week was spent indoors. So I would tell you that was definitely a top priority in the Bennett household. And I would say number 2 was really keeping family at the center of everything that we do. Because my parents definitely reminded me that you always had that nucleus of support at home. So that was always a key reminder and one of those key principles. And then I would say the third one was really around hard work. And it was hard work is really required in anything to be successful. And I can still hear my mom reminding me as we speak right now, too much is given, much is required. And it really reminds me and reflect on her starting an assisted living facility and just working 24 to 48-hour shifts. And she did this instead of retiring. So I got a chance to just really see it firsthand from her because she saw a need in the community, and she really just decided to launch her own business and really help fulfill that need. So I think when I look back and I realize now why I gravitate to some of the harder problems, it's because I've learned over the years that it tends to get easy. So if you start hard, it eventually will get easy. But if you start down that easy path, eventually it's going to get hard. So that's always been that model, and just following her footsteps and the incredible groundwork that she's laid for me as well. And then I would tell you the fourth one is really around determination. And this one was really just staying focused on the purpose to help people. And you just heard it from the story regarding my mom, but then also to leave a sustainable impact on our community. And that's something I continue to strive for. And also my dad definitely continues to remind me of that, because he still leaves random voicemails on my cell phone to remind me that I should never stop fighting for what is right. So I definitely want to thank all of the parents, including my parents, because I know you don't nearly get the credit you deserve or the interest payments made supporting us growing up. So, but I want to make sure you know, just like I did and I've shared already so far, that your children will remember your words, as well as how you've led by example through your commitments and the sacrifice to ensure that they can truly live their purpose. So I definitely just wanted to say a special thank you to all the parents that are on as well, from your children that's on here as well, because we see the investment that you continue to make. And it also gives me an opportunity to reflect back and remembering my parents and something that they did supporting my dream when I initially wanted to start the next Apple or Microsoft. And yes, I wanted to build computer systems and help solve the digital divide that exists in our country. And so I remember my parents, and they still talk about this story to this day, where they decided to save. And later I learned that ultimately I learned a whole lot about annual percentage rates, because they told me they saved, but ultimately I realized they used the credit card and paid some interest on it to buy a Radio Shack Tandy computer for our family when I was 7 years old. And of course, my three siblings still often remind me that it really wasn't a family computer. It was really my computer, because I was primarily the person that they bought it for, and I wanted to use it on a nightly basis. But ultimately, when I think back and hearing Radio Shack, I know only the parents that's on here is probably going to remember Radio Shack. But my parents supported me at 7, and really just supporting my dream led to me becoming a computer programmer. And having those skills, and now being able to program in C++ and Java and HTML and becoming a web developer. And so as I share those skills with you, you're probably wondering, okay, well, how does that lead to banking? Because that's not quite the intro that you heard earlier. Well, I'm definitely going to answer that question for you, because it's really good if I just get an opportunity to go back to the very beginning first. And as Ms. Norman already shared, I definitely attended public schools here in Duval County, and I'll share and make sure I highlight them as well, because there's some really key ones that I spent some time with. So it started at George Washington Carver, attended Lake Forest, spent some time at Eugene Butler for 6th grade, and then I spent time at Northwestern Middle School, and then finished up at Raines High School. And so as I think back and look at my journey over those various schools, I just want to take the moment to really thank and acknowledge all the incredible teachers, the guidance counselors, the coaches that truly invested in me before I really knew what I was going to be unlocking in the years to come. So they were the initial investors, and those mentors and sponsors and board members. And I say board members because I've established a personal board of directors and investors that truly help me assess my short and long-term direction, as well as strategies, just to ensure I stay on the path that I've set out on. So very similar to what you've heard from companies and nonprofits, I tend to do the exact same thing in making sure I have those individuals that's going to hold me accountable to those 4 principles I shared with you earlier that my parents instilled in me early, as well as making sure that I remain committed to paying it forward in our community. So I'm forever grateful, as I see some principals on this line, as well as councils, forever grateful for Principal Hodges at Northwestern, and Ms. Norman, as well as Ms. Northern at Rains High School for encouraging me and helping me identify my passion to help children as well as our homeless population in middle school as well as in high school. So, because when I think back in middle school in particular, it started in partnering with Leon Baxter, as you heard, who is now the CEO of Communities in Schools, when I was at Northwestern Middle School. I can remember spending time mentoring and tutoring at lunch as well as after school with various students around me there, making sure that I was truly helping everyone at Northwestern as much as I could. And then I also remember spending time in high school where we were recognized locally as well as at the state level for completing a video study of the homeless impact on Jacksonville and ways that we can deploy job and reskilling resources to be able to help. So I just go back and just think about how that shaped what you heard as far as in my background and my commitment to the community, because children and affordable housing remained a focus for me when I left Rains as well as Jacksonville to attend Florida State University, where I obtained my my degree in, I set off, I should say, to obtain my college degree in computer engineering, as well as possibly play football for Coach Bowden. So go Noles for all of my Seminoles that are online as well. It's hard for me not to do this, but I definitely bleed orange and gold for sure, because when I went off to Florida State, I felt like it was giving me the best opportunity to potentially either serve in the NFL at some point, which if I could go down that path as an athlete, that was definitely going to be one. Or as I shared, I was going to focus on computer engineering. So it was going to give me an opportunity to launch an IT startup to be able to provide computers and hardware and software to, again, solve that digital divide that I was really focused in on. But I'll tell you, when I got at Florida State into Tallahassee, I enrolled in the class which was the Art of Pivoting, which was not an official class on any list of courses at Florida State, but it definitely should be on my transcript, because when I got there, I quickly learned that playing on the football team wasn't going to be ideal. Coupled with that, I got some amazing advice, which was very timely, from my older brother, who happened to be in the NFL at the time. He advised me to just walk away from football at that time. He really encouraged me to focus in on my dream and just leverage my talents as well as the academic scholarship that I had while I was at Florida State. So he truly helped me change my point of view, as well as get me on that path to finding my personal passion by embracing a unique opportunity that I had while I was at Florida State, which was learning the world of college football under Coach Bowden's leadership for 5 years. And I did have an amazing time under Coach Bowden, and had an opportunity to really do everything you can imagine as it relates to operating a college football program. And of course, these were during the years that Florida State was in the national championship game every year, as well as I saw us at our actual pinnacle at the very top, as well as I saw where many of our streaks at Florida State came to an end as well. But had an amazing time learning the key principles of leadership from Coach Bowden, and then also getting a chance to use some of my tech skills, as well as get to help coach and develop some of the players that were on the field as well. So that was my incredible time with spending with Coach Bowden. But while I was at Florida State, there was another challenge that I was initially facing, which I'll share with you. This took place during my sophomore year, because just when I thought I was headed down that path to becoming a computer engineer and spending time in discrete math courses and beginning physics, I found out that there was going to be a delay in rolling out the computer engineering program. So this gave me an opportunity to actually pivot, and I decided to pivot at that point to join the College of Business and really focus my time on earning my degree in finance and management information systems. And then also was able to pick up a minor in computer science, since I had spent so much time on the computer engineering track as well. So while I was actually working on those courses, I actually got an opportunity to work as an IT consultant as well, because given my ability in some of the programming classes and being able to help students similar to what I was doing back in middle school while I was at Florida State, it gave me an opportunity to work with a group of professors to actually start down the IT path and really sharpen those consultative skills that I get a chance to use today, even as a banker. But I was doing it then more as an IT consultant, which then led me to actually my career in banking, because I ended up meeting a bank exec while I was working on a client relationship, and he was inquiring about the things that I was doing as far as rolling out ERP systems, which then led to a series of interviews and And here's another pivot in my career, which ultimately at that point, after the series of interviews, I decided to join Bank of America. And in joining Bank of America, I selected it because it was a great opportunity for me to go through a formal training program and really understand the ins and outs of commercial banking, and then eventually become a relationship manager because they had committed the actual training that I would need to ramp up in credit and treasury, and then eventually into relationship management. Well, now I'll go back and take you 19 years ago because I vividly remember my very first day and actually sitting in the office that I sit in now as market president for Jacksonville. And I remember our market exec at the time had just shared with me that, congratulations, you're now part of Bank of America. And then unfortunately, the program that we initially signed on for has been eliminated, and that we're moving away from it. So we're going to have to figure out exactly what we do now with your development and your growth within our company. And so, of course, after trying to recover from that moment and thinking, gosh, what I signed up for and everything I committed to doing with Bank of America is now going to require another pivot or some type of change, it gave me an opportunity to spend some time with a number of people that was with Bank of America at the time, as well as going downstairs and spending time with our financial center manager and team and just better understanding what they were doing in the consumer bank, and then going back upstairs and then sitting down and having a conversation with my market exec at the time, because I figured it out, and I shared with them. I said, I would love to be able to design my own training program if that's possible. And he said, well, that's great. That's something we could definitely do, because we really don't have a formal program for you to be able to attend at this point. And then I kind of surprised them, and I said, instead of focusing on commercial banking, I would love to be able to go spend the first 6 months downstairs in our financial center and better understand the consumer bank and just engage with customers as they come into our financial centers. And so after he listened and I convinced him, a few hours later, he agreed to let me do that to be able to start my career with Bank of America. And so after spending the first 6 months of my career on the teller line downstairs and engaging with customers as they were coming in, as well as working with the relationship bankers and our financial center manager, they all encouraged me to get back upstairs at that point, back into commercial banking, because every day my drawer was out of balance and it was out of till. So they finally said, enough's enough. You got to get back on the commercial banking path. So I listened to them and went back upstairs, and then had an opportunity to then rotate through credit underwriting, which is where we spend time with so many of our clients on the debt needs that they potentially have. And then also spent some time as a relationship manager, which you're responsible for going out and connecting with companies across Jacksonville and better understanding their corporate strategies and figuring out exactly how you help them with those financial resources that they need to be successful. And then after spending about a year in that role, I got an opportunity to move over and become a treasury management officer. And that was really just focused on the cash inflows and outflows of a company's business. Just like we manage our own personal finances, I just served as an actual consultant and an advisor to large Fortune 500 companies to advise them on strategies to be able to manage their cash flows that come in and the best ways to make those payments as well. So after that period of time and thinking, all right, so I'm on that path, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, then my point of view started to kind of shift as I was spending time and learning all the things that I could do in the critical areas of commercial banking, and not realizing at the time that it was actually preparing me for a market exec role. And so that's when I will tell you my purpose became really clear, because I realized that I was truly here to be able to help others. And I would tell you that could be anywhere from helping my teammates expand their knowledge or their careers, as well as working with clients to be able to design solutions that I shared earlier to really help them achieve their dreams and take care of all of their employees and help our community. And then last but not least, it was serving our community by volunteering and sharing the knowledge that I've gained over the years on boards and being able to give back as well. So after coming to that point and realizing that's my purpose, that's what I want to focus on, I had an opportunity to become a business banking market exec, but it required me to relocate. So I moved up to Columbia, South Carolina, where I became the market exec in Columbia, South Carolina, and started to work with that team where we had success within a year. And of course, that opportunity morphed into the Carolinas because I was asked to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where Bank of America is headquartered. And it gave me an opportunity to just connect with so many of our incredible executives, as well as be able to continue to drive the incredible success that we were having across the Carolinas. So after doing that for about 3 or 4 years or so, I had an opportunity to move back to Jacksonville to lead North Florida and Central Florida. And what was very, very unique about that opportunity to move back was it was the actual position that was created for me. I remember having vivid conversations with the regional exec at the time that if there was ever an opportunity for me to be able to get back to Jacksonville, I would love to be able to get back to Jacksonville because that's my hometown and I've invested so much in our local community. It would be so great to be able to continue to help those business owners there. So she had an opportunity to be able to create that role and actually place it in Jacksonville for me, and I took advantage of it. So after doing that for a number of years, then she reached back out to me again and said, now I got another unique opportunity for you, given your experience in commercial banking and now in business banking. She asked me to launch a combined effort of those two groups, which was really going to focus on launching this combined coverage arena for all of Bank of America, which started with the focus in that North Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi market. And so this was a great opportunity for me to bring those two groups together, but more importantly, in some of the actual states that I just shared with you. As you probably may know, there's states that Bank of America does not have a branch presence or any presence at that time when we were actually launching this strategy. So here I am now in this new role and starting to launch the bank strategy in these respective markets. I get another call from my regional exec at the time, and she's just become the vice chair of business banking. And so at that point, her role is going to now change and become available in the Southeast. And as I'm sitting there contemplating, do I raise my hand? Do I actually get into the interview process to potentially be considered for the Southeast region position? I finally had a great conversation with a mentor, and he told me there was no doubt about it. I had to do it, and this goes back to having that strong board of directors that really help advise and ensure that you're taking the right amount of risk and really leaning into your overall purpose. So after a few conversations with him, I decided to go ahead and raise my hand, went through the interviewing process, and then found out as the national business banking leader reached out, and he called and he said, you know, I want to share with you my point of view through this entire interview process and give you some feedback. And of course, at this point, I was thinking it wasn't really for me to receive the opportunity. It was probably just a great coaching opportunity. But sure enough, he shared and said, you're going to be the new Southeast region exec. And I also wanted to just share with you that over all the candidates and everyone that we spoke to, you're the only candidate that actually led and built a number of teams across the broader Southeast region. So it made me the ideal candidate. And again, it just goes back to not knowing what that point of view would be because of moving from Jacksonville and covering South Carolina as well as covering North Carolina, and then having the opportunity to cover parts of Georgia as well as Alabama and Mississippi and Florida gave me the great opportunity for me to become the Southeast region exec. So now if I taking a step back, and then now that's my current role. If I fast forward back in April of 2021, I was very fortunate to be named and serve as the president of Jacksonville. And this gives me an opportunity to really drive our community efforts, and I'm responsible for connecting all of our 8 lines of businesses to the companies and the families and individuals across the Northeast Florida market. I also have the opportunity to deploy our resources to address social concerns and strengthen economic opportunities and really build strong communities, as well as focus on the support and health and safety and engaging all of our teammates across the Jacksonville market. So that's a little bit about my overall journey throughout banking and how I became the market president for Jacksonville as well as the regional exec. So I would like to at least leave you with this final thought or call of action, I would say, is life is really like taking a great cross-country road trip. Not about the destination. It's about enjoying the journey and the relationships that you get to form at every one of those stops along the way. And if you look for the lessons in everything, which includes all of your ups and your downs, as well as your success and your failures, you'll find those opportunities that will help you pivot when you need to pivot, as well as give you a different point of view to be able to reveal your purpose. So I want to thank you for your time and attention, and it's truly been an honor and a pleasure to be a brief part of your journey to fulfilling your life's purpose.
Okay.
Ms. Norman and Ms. Burney, thank you again for this opportunity to be able to connect with this incredible group.
Mr. Bennett, thank
Of
you.
course, you see
And
me speechless. Of course, Ms. Byrne has put all her remarks on them. So I'm speechless because I don't want to sound partial.
Mr. Bennett, I would like to say, I put in the chat that you really epitomized the notion that opportunities are taken and not given. Because if you don't take the opportunity, then you might not ever get to where you need to be. I am just beyond proud of everything. And I hope that the young people who are on tonight, especially those who made the honor roll and you're going to be honored tonight, think about his journey and think about the fact that wherever he saw that he wanted to be, he actually moved into it to get there. So you got to move, young people. You got to move. And I want all of my young men, especially, to understand math is not your enemy. Math is your friend. So get busy. But I truly enjoyed it, Mr. Bennett. Truly enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much. And you're right about the math. I will tell you, looking back on all those incredible courses, it laid the foundation.
Yes.
And ditto, Ms. Burney, I must say that was just a powerful speech. And he's always been that way, laid back and just so powerful. And as Ms. Byrne has said, we are beyond proud. And I hope that all of you listen, parents as well as students, because parents, you try to aim for different goals every day also. And same thing for your children. And you see where he started in terms of his background. It was nothing that deterred him from his goal. And so, Mr. Bennett, I just can't thank you enough. You know, I'm just overwhelmed and just so proud of you in terms of speaking for the community, in terms of just representing us, not only representing us, but then caring for the people at large. So thank you for caring for your community. Thank you for just doing such a sensational job tonight. First of all, taking time from your busy schedule, because his secretary did tell me he was scheduled to go somewhere, but he was going to try to flip it around so that he could come and talk to our students, because he cares for you and he knows that all of you have that potential to succeed. So we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. All right.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Norman. Again, and to all the students there, I could definitely relate, because I remember sitting on these broadcasts and hearing from people like myself, and I will tell you, you commit to the hard work and that determination. You too could be sitting right here at Bank of America or any other company, as well as the CEOs and the many opportunities that are out there. So thank you for this opportunity to tell my story.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Okay. All right. Jacksonville. All right. And now we're going to recognize a number of you. And even if you're not on the honor roll, we know that you have that potential and you'll soon be there. You soon will show all of your potential. We know that. So being honored tonight is not a small task for us. You have achieved a big achievement. You have achieved one of your biggest achievements. Every step is important. So congratulations to each of you on being honored. We are so proud of you. And so we're going to begin with our middle schools. We'll begin with APR Middle. Is Mr. Lyles on?
Mrs. Norman, we actually on the slide starts with.
Oh, you want to go with most improved?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to start with our most improved students. Okay. And most improved from APR High, Mr. Salas is here. So Mr. Salas.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Norman and Ms. Burney. So the most improved students from APR High are listed on here: Ryanika Morant, Carter Metz, and Kaya Jones. I'll speak about the last two, and I'll end up on the first one. Carter made the honor roll for the first time, and he has been working diligently to get himself in that position. I'll speak about Kaya. She has made a lot of improvements and made a big turnaround from last year. Kaya was with us last year. She was adapting to the high school environment, especially BTS, in the midst of all the pandemic and everything that was going on. But Kaya rose to the challenge and has had some very, very impressive scores on her PMA and then her grades on her report card. She is definitely trending in the right direction and wanted to make sure that these two students got honored. Ryanika is a first-time person to BTS and has been doing just about everything that's expected of her. And she has done a 180 from her results from last year, where she struggled in an online environment, but just coming to BTS, she's flourished. You know, her GPA is pretty high. She's consistently on the AP honor roll, and I don't see that trend going anywhere else. So I just wanted to recognize those three.
Okay, thank you so much. Are any of these three here? You want to speak out? Okay, if not, we're going on to Westside High. And I don't know if Mr. Foster is back on. If not, Mr. Salas, you can recognize the young lady from West Side who was selected as a most improved student.
Mr. Foster is on.
Okay, Mr. Foster.
All right. First, I'd like to say good evening to all the parents, our esteemed guests, and all of you who are on the call. Brianna Moore was listed as the most improved for the quarter. She has made great strides. She is a senior, and I also report off script today. She found out that she met her concordance score and she's met her qualifications to graduate. She had one assessment that she had to get over that hump and hurdle, and she was able to get that done today. So we're very happy for Brianna.
Yay, Brianna. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Foster. And most improved from APR Middle, Mr. Lyles? If not, I'll.
Hi, Ms. Norman. It's Mrs.
I'm about to say, I know Ms.
Sorry.
Clayton is here because you know I can't ever pronounce that name. When I'm saying Ms. Clayton, what's the name? But anyway,
Mr.
I'm
Lyles?
here.
okay.
You back? Okay.
Yes, I apologize, everyone. I've been here all along, but all of a sudden I've had some really bad connection issues, but I'm glad to be back on just in time. Thank you to everyone. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to all of the hardworking and team members that we have at the APR site for BTS, be it middle and high, working together to have a very, very good year. So at this time, I would like to make mention of the most improved students from the middle school site for APR. And that is going to be Lonnie Lewis, Demaya Taylor, and Sanaya Clayton. All three of these students have made incredible progress, be it academically or behaviorally and socially. And we have really, really been pleased with the growth and maturity and seriousness that they've taken their academic work with. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Lyon. Any of those parents here, you want to shout out?
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Westside Middle.
Hi, Miss Norman. This is Mrs. Dar, AP at Westside Middle.
Dar. Hi.
I just want to thank all the students, parents, and educational staff that are out for this tonight. This is such an awesome opportunity, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. So I do want to shout out my kids. These three students have worked very hard from the beginning of this year. In many ways, not only to maintain good academic grades, but to kind of come back up when they did fall down. And so I'm so very proud of these three, Jacqueline Frederick Pugh, Kimarion Porter, and Ishmael Mills, all really amazing students. And I'm just so honored to be their assistant principal.
Thank you so much. Any of those parents here? I know some of them are. You want to shout out parents? But I know we saw Ms. Mills earlier and talked to several of them. So thank you and congratulations. And finally, St. Clair Evans. Is anyone from St. Clair Evans?
I don't think Miss Harper is able to be on, but I'll go ahead and read hers. So I believe that DeAndre Thomas is actually one of our elementary students. And this may be the first time that we've nominated an elementary student for BTS. And so we're very proud of DeAndre and all his hard work. And I can guarantee if Miss Harper was on the call, she would have lots more to say for him.
Yeah, she would, because she gave me that name personally. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all of our students who are following the path that Mr. Bennett suggested, continuing to improve. Congratulations. And now our all 8 honor roll. Okay. Okay, Ms. Dar, did you want to do St. Clair Evans, please?
Yes, ma'am. So some of these students, I know Montserrat, Jamar, Curtis, these are all students that we actually had last year also. So wonderful job. Just the challenge of doing 2 school years in one. I tell the kids all the time, you guys are remarkable for your ability to take on this task. And so a big shout out to these students, Montserrat Vega, Tavares Williams, Jamar Jablan, Curtis Guest, Markayla James, and Demiriana Rufins James. So shout out to those students for being amazing.
Right. Congratulations. Wow. Okay. And also straight A from the high school, several that have already been mentioned. Did you want to do those, Mr. Salas?
Yes, I can go ahead and do those.
I know Rodney is
These are our students from the West Side location as well as from APR. So yes, we have Alexia Bernardo from our West Side, Ronika Morant from APR. I believe she is on the call, or her parent is on the call. Brianna Moore and Angelina Roman from our West Side locations. Congratulations to those young ladies. Gotta get a young man on here next.
Okay. All right. Congratulations. Okay. Now AB honor roll, and all of us, as we prepare to recognize these students, note that all of our students will be receiving a certificate of achievement and a certificate of congratulations, and all of our all A students will also receive a trophy for their efforts. So we are so proud of all of our students. And now our AB students, we begin with APR Middle.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This is Mr. Lyles coming back on. And this young man here, the first young person I want to mention being Lonnie Lewis. This just speaks to why he was added to our most improved list. This young man has shown such great growth in his maturity, and as his maturity has come along, so has his improved grades. So I definitely give a special shout out to Mr. Lewis, and also his great home that he's coming from. Also, Nigel Middleton, this is not her first time making the honor roll with us this year, and I don't anticipate it being her last. And then last but certainly not least, we have a wonderful young lady in Miss Sakedra Stokes, who've also made the honor roll. And we want to thank you all for your help in making this such a successful event.
All right, St. Clair Evans did have quite a few. And once again, Ms. Dar, did you want to do those, please? You seem to, you obviously know them very well.
Yes, ma'am. I don't mind reciting their names. I can't speak to every single student. But I mean, just when I think of my own list and Mr. Lyles's list, and then I see Ms. Harper's, I'm like taking aback a moment. I'm so impressed and proud of these students.
But they had more students that will help you a little, but they did have quite a few. So.
I know, and I'm shocked in the best way possible. So we have Lael Israel, Noah Mills, Mallory Bond, Zuangeli, I apologize if I said her name wrong, Victorian Daniels, Rachel Franklin, Danica Henry, Carrie Hughes, Tamara Lewis, Zephaniah Norales, Mykylan Reeves. Woo-woo!
Okay.
Tiana Suarez, Nathaniel, and I may pronounce his last name wrong, Balbueno, Caroline Hawthorne, Javion Howard Sanders, Taraji Isaac, MCZ Kamalo. I love all the cheering. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Azarius Laster, Takia Powell, Ethan Stinchcomb, and Taylor Thomas. And again, I apologize to all the parents and students if I mispronounced your name. I am so sorry, but great job to these students for their hard work, their continued dedication, and their just desire to achieve. So from our side,
okay,
Camille Easterly, Messiah Brown Reveille, LeVar Dorsey Henderson. And
Okay.
Mr. Lyles, do you recognize these names? I don't recognize these names from my site.
Okay. So we checking on mine.
Where did he go?
And
Mr.
I did
Lyles?
it, and I think they went with the West Side High. Okay.
Okay.
I got West Side High. Okay. And did you see your three, Ms. Starr?
On the previous slide?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they were on the previous slide. Okay. All right. Okay, is that our last one? Okay. And West Side High, I know, Mr. Foster is right here. Okay, Mr. Foster.
All right, I will go through this list. I was looking at the list to verify, make sure I make sure no
You can
one
handle
was
these.
left off. No, I want to make sure no one was left off. But
Okay.
I will read through the names. I am also very proud of this list of students who worked hard to
Yeah, they have quite a few.
achieve the AB Honor Roll. Many of them are our upperclassmen who are soon to be graduates. The first name is Joshua Drury, Lamaya Freeman, Veronica Futch, Joseph Guvarez, Alexia Bernardo, who was on a previous slide for being a honor roll student.
Right.
Dennis is on here. However, Dennis has now left us. He moved and had to transfer, but we still want to recognize Dennis Ramos. Who Dennis, I believe, was at our APR site, but nevertheless, he is on this list. Demetrius Brown. Demetrius. They ought to be proud of Demetrius. He is a very hard worker. Elise Bates, Zariana Green. I don't want to mess her up, Mom. Carmani Moore, Tremel Nelson. I believe Ms. Moore was on earlier. Brianna Van Dyke, Tristan Doan, and Kayla Hoffman. I don't believe I missed anybody. The only person who I don't see on your list, and I don't want to leave her off, is Angelina Roman.
Yes, I think she was on a straight A, Angelina. She was on a straight A. Yes, always.
But I'm very proud of all of our straight A students and AB Honor Roll students.
And here's your APR, Mr. Salas.
Yeah, so once again, I want to recognize Ronika Morant. I believe they're still on the call. As you stated earlier, she was on the straight A list and also most improved, as well as Carter Metz was on most improved. So we'll congratulate them.
Yes, and all of these students are worthy, as Ms. Berner has put across the screen of being congratulated. Congratulations. And as we speak to these parents on the phone, I just tell them they must be so proud for their students to be achieving. And so we congratulate them tonight. Thank you so much, parents and students, for participating, and also our staff members. At this time, before Ms. Bernie makes the special presentations in terms of selecting the ones who will win the prize. I'd like to just thank our Principal Foster for being with us tonight, and like to thank the principal of the middle school, BTS, Dr. Council. I'm especially grateful to our assistant principals who are always so supportive and so helpful in helping us to pull this together and to chat with our parents about the value of our working together so that we can have a wonderful school atmosphere. So I want to thank the high school principals, Mr. Salas, and want to thank Ms. Crowden, and also over at the high school, I want to thank Ms. Blackman, who's been most helpful, and Ms. Hinton is on. Ms. Hinton, you still on? And Ms. Hinton was here also. Just want to thank those persons. And then from the middle school, I do want to thank Mr. Lyles for his great support. And we got a new one at West Side. It's been a pleasure to work with her. Ms. Dar, want to thank her so much, and certainly Ms. Hopper over at St. Clair Evans. So it's been such a pleasure. And so just want to take this opportunity to let you know that we appreciate all that you do to help us empower our parents. Also, as Ms. Bernie comes forward, want to also thank Ms. Evelyn Kennebrew, who does a lot of the calling and who has reached out to all of you. That's the voice that you hear. And so I want to thank Ms. Kennebrew also for assisting the overall program and getting together. And our special guest, and Mr. Foster, did you want to make any remarks before we leave? Oh, please.
Well, you know I like to talk, but no, I don't. I do have a couple for any of the high school parents, just reminders that we are starting tomorrow through the first week of March. We will be embarking upon our PMA3 testing, which is our final benchmark to prepare the students to get them ready. So our teachers will have data to help get them ready for the FSAs and their EOCs that are coming up in April. Also wanted to remind the parents of our 5 essential survey. We would love to hear from you about how we're doing as a school and some things that we can do to improve, to make it better for you and your students. And then that's it. Only thing else I'll say, I know Mr. Bennett is gone, but I didn't want to chime in. He said something about Seminole Nation. Go Noles. I'm also a proud graduate of Florida State. All right.
Okay. Well, we knew that would make you happy, Mr. Foster. So thank you so much. And Mr. Pinckney, Mr. Pinckney is still here. Thank you, Mr. Pinckney, for sharing with us this evening. And also at St. Clair Evans, we don't want to forget Ms. Rentz, who is the counselor who works with the IMASA program over there. And also Ms. Williams from Communities in Schools. We're grateful to all of you for assisting us and helping to empower our parents. And now Ms. Bernie, she's gonna make that big call where she selects the person who's gonna get the free one, but also we'll be sure that we check those names for those that we said, Ms. Jones, we can still celebrate those people who have to pay a fee with their coupons. Ms. Jones, she's in charge of that.
Yes, ma'am.
And they straighten me out every time, and the parents too. I didn't get mine. I said, okay, yes, ma'am, I can work with that. So Ms. Jones, what else can they get if they don't get the big prize tonight?
Okay, so again, thank you all for thinking it not robbery to join us tonight. Congratulations to all the students. Congratulations to the parents, because it does take a village. And if you just look around, even on Zoom, we are still a part of that village. We are a part of your child's education. So thank you so much for letting us to be a part of it and make a difference in their lives. So for tonight, the great part is everybody who logged in will get a discounted vacation. I believe it is a 4-night vacation. You can either pick any of the Westgate resorts in Orlando, Las Vegas, Gatlinburg, and I believe there are like 2 other locations. Everyone will get a small certificate with more details on it. I believe they start off at $99. However, please tell me where you can get a 5-star resort for 4 nights for $99. So I think it's a great opportunity. I do believe the price does not pass $250 depending on where you're trying to go. And spring break is right around the corner. And I know one thing that we talk about a lot is mental health. And so sometimes taking a break, taking a safe vacation is a great way to celebrate their accomplishments. May is right around the corner. So it's a perfect opportunity to either celebrate for spring break or summertime and get your vacations in. So everyone will receive those. So yay, congratulations to everybody. However, we have one lucky winner that will win a complete.
You must go to your assistant principal at the school now, and they have a list to be sure that you were here. And then that's the way you get that now. Okay.
Yes,
so you won't have to threaten me or anything. You know I want you to have it. I really
Please don't threaten me.
No, I know. I'm just excited. One parent told me the night he was going to Orlando. I said you should have stayed, and you might have won that little prize. Okay, all right, okay. Ms. Bernie, thanks to everybody who assisted us. We appreciate it. Any other special guests? Anybody on you want to recognize, Ms. Bernie?
No, Ms. Manye Jones needs to share what I'm going to spin the wheel for that prize. Ms. Manye.
Yes, ma'am. So everyone gets the discounted vacation. However, one lucky winner will receive a free 3-night vacation at any of those locations again. There is a caveat to it. There is a $50 refundable deposit. So as long as, nothing gets broken, you get your $50 back. But again, it's great preparation for spring break, for summertime, or whenever you really want to go. So we will, again, make sure all the sites get the certificates. There's more information on them. There will be a code on there that you use, and you can either call the number to make your reservations or go online and type in the travel partner number, and they'll get you all squared away.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jones. And so I'll just give a 2-second remark, and that is thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I appreciate you. Mr. Pinckney, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to all of the principals. Everything that is Ms. Norman has said, I echo it all. And now we're going to spin the wheel to see who gets that prize. And after we spin the wheel and give them a congratulations, then we will be ready to end the evening. What I did was take everybody's name from the chat, the parents, that is, parents and visitors from the chat, and we will get ready to spin, and where we land is the person who will win that free vacation. And the winner is Maria Wells.
Okay, congratulations. And thanks again, Mr. Bennett, for that marvelous motivational speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, and good night.